Winning! Peace and love, family. Peace and love. It's your boy Chris Enlightened coming back again with some more spiritual biddles. And today I'm going in on ALTAR Magic. Ooh, this is a good one, family. This is a good one. ALTAR Magic. Ooh. This is a good one, family, because these are some of the basic things that I've done in the beginning to win at life, to win spiritually, to win over my reality, family. And I do want to tell you something before we start. Consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. And some of these things I concocted myself. I don't go out trying to find what works for other people. I find what works for myself. And if it works for me, I document it, and I document how long it takes to work for me as well. So in the future, if I need to do it again, I can have a time frame on when to look for results for me. And if you're ever doing any magic, please do the same for yourself. Write down when you start, how many days it took you, every day, the time, and things like that. You want to get your magical circadian rhythm developed, so you'll know when magic works for you and what time and what day is best for you. So me, one of the first things I've done was the easiest thing to create a funnel for money to find me. And one thing I tell people this all the time, you can only go so far with human effort. If you don't align yourself up with someone or something or some celestial divine force that's stronger than you more than likely won't win at life the way that you need to win. You may win, I don't know. You might not. Me, I know that you can only go so far with human effort, and miracles happen when divine forces intervene in your reality. One of the first magical acts that I did on my altar was I printed out a map of where I lived. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm not going to tell you where, but I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. And something as simple as getting a printout of Cincinnati, Ohio, putting it on my altar, and I just sit the Jade Emperor right on it. The Jade Emperor, all the money and wealth in our earthly reality flows to the Jade Emperor's hands. He's one of the baddest magicians out there. This is what he does. So by me putting a statue of the deity, the Jade Emperor, on my city where I live at, I got my name written on this paper too. I'm creating a void or a funnel for wealth to find me. And I just leave it there. I do it and I leave it there. And that's it. This has been on my altar for years. And I just leave it there. And I set it aside. Something as simple as that. I don't have to tend to it. I don't have to say, I don't have to do anything. I did it. It is. I'm done. And I forget about it. One thing about doing magic, you want to do it and forget about it. Unless you're doing it day after day after day. But if you do one magical act, do it, know it's going to work, and forget about it. You don't want to keep dwelling on it like, is it working? Is it going to work? When is it going to work? You don't want to have that energy. You want to have that spiritual vigor and confidence that you know it's going to work. You know what I mean? You don't see in movies, you don't see magicians saying abracadabra. They say abracadabra. And they know it's going to work. Yes, the type of energy you have to put into your spiritual practices as well. Know it's going to work for you. Another thing that you can do for your ancestors. Simple, get some red ink and some ancestor gold or some ancestor money. One of these two. Write their name on it. I'm going to write my grandmother Odessa. This is for my grandma Odessa. This is for my grandma Marcella. This is for my father, Gilbert. And I'm going to give him some money too. Odessa, Marcella, and Gilbert. You know what? The woman who raised me, her name was Emma Lane. She pretty much raised me. I'm going to put her name on some money too. This is $100 billion each. Emma Lane Barnett. All right. And all you do, normally when you burn ancestor money, you say this is for my ancestors known and unknown, or whatever you want to say. Whatever you want to say. But when I want the money or the doors of opportunity to open for specific people, I put their name on it. I don't burn it immediately. I let the energy of their name soak into the money, and I go on to something else. I may say a couple divine prayers. I may sit it with the Jade Emperor. I may do whatever, but I let it marinate for a minute. You know, me personally, when I cook chicken, I don't just season it and then immediately fry it. I let it sit for a minute so the energy can soak up in it. And I do my spiritual practices the same way. Another thing that I do, let's say I'm knowing I'm going to go into a deep meditation or something like that. If I'm knowing I'm going to go into some deep meditation, I want to chill for a minute and get all the downloads, I'll take me some lotus flower and I'll put it in my pipe. Some lotus flower, some blue lotus flower. Put it in my pipe. Light that bad boy. And this is simple things that anyone can do. I light that bad boy. If I know I'm going to be gone for at least 30 minutes to an hour, this is what I do to really get in. I don't know, it just helps me focus. It really helps me focus. Again, that's just me. And I take my 5 puffs off there. That's what? How old it is? That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. Okay, that's 5. How old it is? And I let it go. And when I do that, I know that I got at least 30 minutes to an hour to just chill, try to clear my thoughts, and accept and reflect on everything that I get. Everything that I get. And I don't do all these the same day. You know, if I know I'm going to be going at my altar for like 30 minutes to an hour, I'll just do the blue lotus flower and just chill. And I don't know what it is about the blue lotus flower. I'll be honest, I used to smoke herb back in the day. I don't do it no more. I guess technically this is herb, but it ain't weed. But yeah, I used to think that I was tapping in, but I wasn't getting the information that I do when I get off these herbs, off blue lotus flower and other herbs. I remember when I first got into herbs, my wife, she got me into them. She used to make me these little herb vessels is what she called them. And she would make concoctions. She put like 5 to 10 different herbs. She would get the little mortar and she would grind herbs up and put them in these little bottles, have me sleeping with protection and have them in my car, have them hidden around the home. And she would make her own tailor-made herb elixirs. And that's something I'm imploring you guys to do as well. Get your herb game up. Get you the Encyclopedia of Herbs. That's a great book. It's about that thick. It has all these herbs in there and it lets you know what they do and what their uses are. It's a great book, great reference tool if you want to get into herbs. And all she would do is get a whole bunch of herbs. She would find out, she would just mix and match things together, find out what works for her. And most of the time, I would just say, hey, I got this going on, hook me up with something. I don't even know what she put in here. I don't even want to know because she's my kitchen witch. She's my oracle. She's my shaman. This is her lane and this is what she does. So I'll let her know what I need and she'll whip me up something. I'll just carry it with me. It'll be in my pocket. It'll be in my car. It'll be in my bedroom, on my pillow, under my bed, under the couch, under my desk where I do my work. And this is just something simple that you all can do. Another thing, when I used to go to competitions and things like that and go to not spiritual seminars, but seminars for fighting and things like that, I noticed that in the beginning I would get tired quicker and I would feel like I couldn't breathe. So my wife introduced me to coat's foot. I would take some coat foot before my seminar, put it in my little pipe. Again, this is coat's foot. It's great for asthma, bronchitis, any type of respiratory issue that you might have. She recommends putting it into like a tea. She's a tea drinker. I'm a smoker. I like to put the herbs in a pipe and I go. And I would just go into meditation and smoke me some coat's foot before my class, before my competition. And I noticed I didn't get as tired as I normally would without it. Not a bunch, just a little bit. I would go to my altar, I smoke my coat's foot, and I would reach out to Ogun. I have these altar oil. I anoint my head with the altar oil, anoint Ogun's head with the altar oil, tether my consciousness with the consciousness of Ogun, and I would go to these I used to go to these seminars and I would be a beast. And that was it. Simple and I'm done. Just simple as that. Another thing you can do at your altar is one thing that a lot of people don't know is sage is powerful. It's not just to clear away negative energy. I use the smoke within sage to kind of almost scry or to get messages and things like that. I would burn the sage. This is something anyone can do. It doesn't cost you anything other than to buy some sage. And it smells so good. I would burn this sage and I put the sage in a pot. And I would just look at the smoke and try to get visions in this smoke. Just stare at the smoke. Try to get visions in the smoke. If I didn't physically see something, I would let my mind give me a picture or whatever I'm thinking about. Everyone has different types of gifts. Some people can look at the smoke and they'll see visions. Depends on what type of clair you are. You may be clairvoyant. You may be clairsentient. You may be clairaudio. If you're clairaudio, you may hear things. If you're clairsentient, you may get a certain physical sensation. Clairvoyant, you may see pictures. You got to figure out what type of clair you have. Me, I would just see things and taste things in my mind like, okay. You know, whatever comes to me at the time. You know what I'm saying? So that's something I used to do. And I still do it to this day. Another thing, a lot of people, you know, they deal with tarot. And, you know, I'm not as, I don't use tarot all the time. But sometimes when my wife isn't around and I need an answer right now, I pull out my tarot cards. The first thing I always do is take me some Palo Santo. This is Palo Santo water. It's similar to Florida water. I take me some Palo Santo water. I kind of cleanse myself a little bit. It smells amazing, family. It smells amazing. Clean my hands, clean my tools. Take this Palo Santo water. Follow it up with some Florida water if you want to. One of the two. Florida water or Palo Santo water. Again, it's just what I do to like kind of clean myself off from all the negative energy and things like that. And one thing that a lot of people aren't aware of, when you're dealing with tarot, you want to clear your mind. Whenever you breathe in of this earthly domain, you're breathing in the energy that's around you. So what I always do before I do but before I use any type of tarot cards, I take a deep breath 3 times. A third time, I hold that breath for 1 full minute. And while I'm holding my breath for 1 full minute, I'm clearing my thoughts. The only thing that I'm focused on is saying divine prayers in my mind. And I notice whenever I say divine prayers, when I'm holding my breath, the time kind of shifts. It doesn't seem like 60 seconds. It may seem like 20 seconds. I know that after I say 3 anabacors in my mind, a minute is up. So after I say my 3 anabacors in my mind with my mouth closed, holding my breath, I then exhale all that air. My mind is clear. And I ask myself a question. What is it that, whatever the question is, I will shuffle the cards and I'll lay out a spread of 5. Again, this is what I do. You can lay out whatever type of spread you want. It's up to you. I will lay out my spread of 5. And whatever comes to me, comes to me. I pull over my cards, and I give my own self an interpretation of what it is that the universe is trying to get through to me. Again, this is what I do to win, and I've been doing this, and I've been winning with it. Another thing that I do, family, another thing that I do is I just sit at my altar and I give thanks. one of the biggest things you can do is just give thanks for whatever situation you are right now. It doesn't matter if you're winning or losing. Just give thanks that you're here. You know what I mean? I give thanks so much to almost get not teary-eyed, but you get that little tingle inside where you're on the verge of happiness and on the verge of tears because you feel so good. Whenever I'm on my altar, that's one of the biggest magical acts that you can do. Invoke love and joy. If you're trying to do your magic and you're mad at the world, anger, anxious, don't even waste your time. You're strongest when you're embracing love, invoking love and joy, because that's what the Creator's energy is. It's not hate, you know what I mean? Hate isn't good or bad. It's just it's not conducive to a winning environment. So the biggest thing you can do if you plan on doing any magic, any altar practices, being grateful, having gratitude in your heart, love and joy. After I do all that, I get back to my ancestor money. And for those who don't know how to roll up ancestor money, there are no rules, but you can roll up ancestor money like this. Roll it up in a little funnel. Bend the ends. Bend the other end, right in the middle there. You have a little funnel here. It helps the money burn evenly. And again, I light it. This is from my ancestor. I wrote my aunt's name down on here, and I put it in a bowl just like that. And I let it burn. And burning things is the easiest way to get things on the other side. Fire is one of those interstellar or interdimensional elements that on each side they see this flame. Again, this is from my father, Gilbert. If you don't roll it up in a funnel, you can bend it up however you want to bend it, however you want to do it. I'm more of a funnel type of guy, but I have bent it up too. It doesn't matter, as long as you burn it over to your ancestors. There's $100 billion here that I'm giving my father. And again, my father wasn't in my life. At one time, I went 13 years without even hearing from him. No birthday cards, no Christmas, none of that. But again, that was his earthly self. You know, I'm showing the universe I love my pops. Even though he wasn't there for me, I'm there for him. So while he's on the other side, I'm taking care of him. And he's taking care of me too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This is for my aunt Emma Lane. She raised me. Here's $100 billion for you, Annie. You know, something simple. Doesn't take a lot of effort. The fact that you do it is all that matters. My last grandma, Odessa. I love her. Something simple. Doesn't cost you anything. $600 billion I've given to my ancestors. And again, money's not going to fall out the sky to them, but different doors of opportunity are going to open up for them. That's why you burn the ancestor money. When you burn ancestor money, you dissolve your ancestors' negative financial karma. And in turn, your negative financial karma will dissolve as well. Just as simple as that. And normally I'm usually like animated and things like that. But that coat's foot and that blue lotus flower got a brother feeling real right now. Again, it's not like a weed high or anything like that. It's more like a calm sensation. You know what I mean? But me personally, I suggest you go out and get the Encyclopedia of Herbs. Do some research on herbs. Go from A to goddamn whatever. And just read on herbs. Read up on them. Make documentation and things like that. We have hundreds of herbs in our altar room. Some of them I don't use. Some of them I don't even know what they are. But my wife, she's into this stuff. And over the years, I'm learning to get into them as well because they have a lot of medicinal purposes that help me. You know what I mean, family? But again, hopefully you got some jewels on some altar magic. The biggest magic is you. Everything is magic. Magic isn't something that you do. Magic is everywhere. Everything is magic. The sun rising, the moon rising and setting, all that stuff is magic. The water flowing, the wind blowing, all that's magic. Magic is weaved into our earthly reality, family. You don't have to go out and seek it. It's already there. All you gotta do is know it's there and choose to connect to the collective consciousness and extract the type of magic that you want to use and make a benefit for you. Just simple as that, family. I don't want you to think like, oh, I'm not magical. I'm not a witch. I'm not Merlin. I'm not this. You are everything that you need to be, family. Your intent modifies future probabilities of your success. And if you intend to win with magic, in time you will. Magic is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger you get. The stronger you get. You know what I'm saying? Just stay consistent with one thing. Don't jump around to 1,000 different magical acts. Do one for 6 months to a year. Sometimes it takes that long. It's not going to happen after 1 or 2 times. Sometimes magic has to make sure you're ready for it. You know what I'm saying? And when you find something that works, write it down and don't really share it with a lot of people. I've done this hundreds of times. I don't mind sharing it because I know I have strong confidence that it works for me. But sometimes when you create a magical act and you share with other people, the reservoir or the chasm or the place where that magic comes from gets displaced and it's not as strong anymore. So that's why when you go out and buy all these magical books, you're reading all these magical acts and you're trying them and they're not working, is because so many people have pulled from that magical reserve and they haven't given thanks and give it back to the source from which that magic came. So don't feel as if magic doesn't exist. It does exist. It's real. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be willing to go through and wait and be patient. Most of the time you do magic, you're going to forget that you even did it. Be like, wait a minute, I did do that. I did, and it happened. You'll be shocked. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen when you want it. Spirit don't work on your time. It works on his own time. The biggest thing about magic is being patient and consistent, and make sure you're invoking love and joy in your heart, family. So hopefully you got some jewels on some altar magic. Have your own spiritual ingenuity and try things yourself. Don't rely on me. This video was just here to show you how simple magic can be. You know what I'm saying? I'm not pulling a rabbit out of the hat. I'm just showing you some things that I've done to win. You know what I mean? They've all worked for me. You know what I'm saying? So as this video is going on, the Jade Emperor still sitting on this picture of Cincinnati, Ohio, and money's still flowing through to me. Ever since then, my PayPal ring, my Cash App ring, money flows to me. My books sell like hotcakes. Again, I owe it all to this magical act here. You know what I'm saying? And I give thanks. I appreciate it. Okay, family? So when you do get your reward, make sure you give thanks and let the higher divine source that helped you out know that you appreciate them. Okay, family? So on that note, family, peace and love. It's your boy Chris Enlightened. If you haven't gone out to Amazon.com and purchase any of my books, The Enlightened Talk, Poverty Consciousness, Wealth Consciousness, Dissolving Your Limitations, and my latest book, Consciousness Equals Choice, I don't know what you're waiting on. I don't know what you're waiting on. They're all bangers. My latest book, Consciousness Equals Choice, it's a banger, family. And one thing about the book, I wrote the letters big for you because there's a lot of people who have problems and challenges reading. So I made it, a lot of my friends wear glasses. My daughter wears glasses. I wanted something she can take her glasses off and get comfortable and read and not have to worry about struggling to see. You know what I'm saying? I don't think enough authors think about that. I thought about it, and I got a lot of good feedback from people who are challenged visually, letting me know they appreciate that. If you got good eyesight, you know, it's all good. You'll still be able to read it. But for those who have challenges seeing, some type of block seeing, this book is for you. Okay? So on that note, family, peace and love. You already know what he's doing. I'm out here winning.